Good morning. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change, just live recorded, and Happy New Year. Good to see all you guys. I am still a little sick, or I'm not gonna lie, not a little sick. I'm still a lot of sick, but I'm gonna be getting over this COVID before you know it, I promise. I just wanted to say hello to everybody, and I could not go another week without streaming. So let's see who's in the chat, and then we'll get into this. We have Crypto Escort, good to see you, buddy. Trade like Snipe, good to see you, bud. We have Andrew Masad, Crypto KJ, my man, Tim I Am Crypto, Leo Lustig, good morning, Andrew Masad. Let's see who else is here. Let me scroll up a bit. Mr. Chris Hanley, Crypto KJ, we have Ogre, we have Mike R, good to see you, buddy. Steven, Happy New Year, my bro. COVID coming back to the US. I don't know if it's ever been gone, but this is the first time I've had it, and it's awful. I actually lost my taste and smell this morning, so I can't even enjoy my coffee. It's pretty terrible. Overboard Tech, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. I know that was last night, but good to see you. All right, let's check out this market, and then we're going to get into this S1 form and all this other shit JP Morgan shady BS is going on. All right, let's check it out. So we have Bitcoin 42,991. It was just over 43 right before we started, but still, nonetheless, it's holding pretty well. I'm wondering what's going to happen after the 10th, if we're going to see a pullback, or if we're going to see a blast off from like an approval of some sort. But I guess we'll have to see. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. All right, let's go. Ethereum 2317, not too bad. Look at this Filecoin, looks like it's popping off. 731, 1266% up today. We have Kaspa still, where was it? I just saw it. It was 11 cents in the red. Everything's pretty much kind of just floating around. Nothing really looks too drastically different besides Sol. Sol actually took a little bit of a pullback, but it's actually a healthy correction. It definitely needed that because that shit skyrocketed. Not gonna lie. Dogecoin 9 cents. Everything else, yeah, looks pretty decent. ETC 22 bucks. Actually, ETC is holding up pretty well. Crypto bubbles on the day. You know what? I missed an entire week. I want to see what the best earner of the week is. We have BSV. Look at that. Bitcoin SV up 111%, ranked 41. We have SEI 56.1% up on the on the week, ranked 58. Crazy. Bonk is down 27.8% on the week. Man, not too bad. Not too bad. That thing rose like crazy. So I mean, kind of expecting it, right? Again, Filecoin 10.3% up today. We have WeMix up 6.1%. GTR, sorry, if I could speak right, GRT is up 6%. Yeah, other than that, guys, everything is just pretty much floating along. I think honestly waiting on this Bitcoin ETF approval. Let's check out the fear and greed index. We're looking at 65 over here. Again, nothing to really worry about until it gets over the 75 mark, at least in my opinion. People are saying Bonk is dead. Really? I wonder. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a meme coin, but it's a meme coin on Solana, so I think Solana's hype train kind of pumped that a little bit, but who knows. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, XRP, USDC, Lido Staked, Ether, Cardano, and Avalanche still in 10th spot over Dogecoin, and it's about, what is that, 1.6 maybe or so billion over. Not too bad, not too bad. I guess it's dropping. It was like 3 billion over the market cap of Dogecoin 2 weeks ago, rather. We have Shiba in 19th. Let's see, Uniswap's in 20th, Litecoin's in 21st, Bitcoin Cash in 23rd. Let's just see where Kaspa's hitting this chart. It's in 40th. All right, not too bad. I guess it could be worse, right? It was higher up in the 40s, but we are still at a $2.4 billion market cap when it comes to Kaspa. Kaspa's still doing it's still doing pretty good things. How many altcoins have you guys seen that have actually had a pullback and stayed pretty close to their all-time high? Honestly, hasn't been many, so I really cannot complain how Kaspa's doing there. Mr. Crypto Mikkel, Happy New Year, buddy. Happy New Year. Good to see you guys. All right, let's see what we're looking like in the mining segment of things. Again, I've been personally mining Pyron over on my GPU farm and swapping it out for Neoxa to try to get my Neoxa masternode. That's a goal of mine this year, so that's what I've been up to the last couple days. At least I've been doing something. It's not like I haven't been just sitting in bed, but when I did get out of bed, it's it's selling Pyron. All right, we have the Windminer K9, 10.3 terahashes. Look at this. That is terrible. $98.95 a day. I said that's terrible, but that's actually awesome. But at the end of the day, it was $300. What? Probably a month ago, if that, right? A day. Kind of crazy. Let's see. Crypto KJ. Market cap of is awesome. I compared Neoxa to Kaspa. We will be quids in. Quids. Am I reading that right? Am I reading that right? Market cap mark of, says Crypto KJ. Yeah, that's a good site to compare the market caps. Or like it replaces the market cap of a certain coin for another coin just to see where it would be price wise. It's a pretty good chart, or a pretty good site rather. All right, we have the KS3 ant miner, $89.13 a day. That's the 9.4 terahash. The 8.3 terahash model is making $78 a day. We have the KS3 8 terahash from Ice River making $75 a day. The KS3 M's only making $54. Man, these prices are just getting worse and worse. But you know what? Again, it does equate to hash rate going up, price of Kaspa staying down. It's at 11 cents. If this thing pumps to 25, all these coins double, right, in price. Or not coins, rather. ASIC machines will double, right? So it's just one of those things you guys got to hang on for the long term, and hopefully these miners will come back. We have the KS2 2 terahashes, 1787 a day. Oh, that's terrible. We have the KS1, $8.94 a day. And we have the, let's see, let's look, hold on, let's scroll down. KS Pro, here it is. KS0 Pro, $1.84 a day. Damn. It's getting rough, bro. It's getting rough. But at the end of the day, again, it comes down to price and that machine itself. Let's scroll up a little bit. I'm supposed to be getting this right here, this Jasminer X16P, for a review for a couple weeks, and then I'm going to ship it back to Jingle Mining. So shout out to them for being awesome. They are going to be allowing us to test this. So I'm going to do some solo mining on it and see how many blocks we can hit in the 2 weeks I have it. 1900 watts for power, 5.8 giga hashes. Supposed to be making $18.95 per day. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It will honestly, at my electric rate, probably come close to breaking even at that. So I think solo mining is probably the better gamble here for me. But yeah, I really am not looking forward to another $900 electric bill, because yeah, I paid that while I was sick, so that was like kicking you while you were down. it was great. Look at this. What's the Superscalar K10? Interesting. Carlson hash. Look at that. What the hell? What? Carlson hash is on the board here. That's kind of cool. 6,400 Carlson you get a day with this thing. 403 giga hashes. Does anybody have this Superscalar K10? I don't even think I've ever seen it. And man, excuse me, my throat is like killing me right now. Man, I'm telling you what, if anybody's ever experienced COVID, it's absolutely terrible. I didn't realize how bad it was until, well, I mean, I guess I realized it, but at the same time, I've never had it, so I never felt it. Worst pain my body's ever been in my life from a sickness, I promise. All right, let's see what else we got. Jasminer X16Q. We have $6.42 a day. ETC and ZIL, top coin to mine. 1950 for mega hashes and 620 watts. I am actually solo mining ETC right now with my Jazz miners, all of them. I swapped them off of Kaspa. I want to see what I can yield for ETC, because I do personally think ETC is going to pop off at some point when it comes this bull run. I don't see why it won't get back over $100. ETC's been around forever and it always pumps up crazy, so can't really complain. Nothing really else jumps out at me. We have the KS0, the original 100 giga hashes, making 88 cents a day. That's terrible. All right, let's look at crypto mining quick. Let's go to GPUs. Just want to see what the top coin is of the day. We have Pyron over on the 4090, $2.42 per day. What's this? Hypera and Radiant. I don't know what Hypera is. Never heard of it. We have AIPG again. This is a newer coin. It's a Kapow algorithm. Not a fan. Well, only because I can't mine it, but it's just yeah, my electric rate does not agree with me. All right, let's see. Guys in the chat, I had 65% SO2 during COVID. I don't know what that is. What's SO2? I wish I knew what that was. I apologize. Leo Lustig said, is LLC a hard thing to do? No, I don't think so. You can actually I believe you can do it yourself. I'm not quite sure how to do it yourself. You just have my accountant do it, but it's like, for me, for our area, it's $500 for the year for my state. I don't know how your state works. Every state's different as far as I know, but yeah, it's $500 per year and you have to renew every time. Am I gonna freeze? That was terrible. I thought my computer was just gonna freeze on me. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think it's a hard thing to do. Legal Zoom, you can do it through that. Yeah, trade like snipe. Yeah, I've never used Legal Zoom. I don't know. They sketch me out. Something about them sketches me out. All right. It looks like AIPGs are really on top of the charts here for all the, or most of the GPUs anyway. Xano's on for the 3080 12 gigabyte. Man, this Hypera and Carlson. I want to know what this is. Hypera. I gotta look this up. Oh, what did I just do? All right, let's see. Hypera. HYPRA. Let's see. Doesn't even come up on here. Is it a new coin? It's gotta be a new coin. All right, you know, let's check out a couple coins before we move on. Let's check out Hivemapper. Honey, this coin's taken quite a dump down, but you know what? Honestly, again, 12 cents. This thing was at 2 and it rallied up to like 30 something, 37, I think. So this was kind of to be expected. Again, it's a Solana coin or a coin on the Solana chain. It was inevitable that it was going to have some sort of pullback. And if you guys did have any referral codes or referral, I guess, purchases, make sure you guys link your stuff so you can get paid out from them, because they actually did pay out on people referring people to buy Hivemappers. We have the ETC POW. Let's check that out. ETC POW is really disappointing, actually. Oh, the devil 666. Looks like we are at 66 cents, just over 66 and a half, and I'm gonna have to go to news real soon because my throat is not agreeing with me talking this much. Let's see, where are we at? What am I doing? I'm losing my train of thought. I apologize. All right, let's see. 30 days. This thing is just taking a straight shit. $2.81 all the way down to, again, 60 whatever. Lowest we've seen is about 65. So I mean, I guess it's retesting its support. As of right now, it's low support. If this is a double, usually coins that will blast off again will make like a W, kind of like two bottoms, right? Double bottom and then pop up. So hopefully we have that happen, but I guess we'll have to see. Who knows? Let's see what Carlson's at. We have 2 cents. Man, this coin, a lot of sell pressure. This coin's really taking a hit. 2 cents, almost 3 cents. Let's see, 30 days. Excuse me. All right, let's see. Look at this thing. This thing was up over 26 cents at one point. I wish it stayed up there, man. That would have been really nice, but unfortunately, unMineable released their algorithm and kind of, yeah, the auto converting, I think, really botched this coin. Kind of sucks, right? Again, almost 3 cents. Check out Pyron. EYI. Looks like it's up today, 8.9%, 4 cents. That's good, right? It's good, decent, better than nothing, right? Let's see, what's the what's 30 day? So this coin got to 12.5 cents, 12.5 cents, and now it's back down to 4 cents. I mean, realistically, that's not as bad as Carlson. It didn't have like a complete moonshot and then just completely disappear. Going to zero, you think so? Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, mine it until it's not profitable for you, you know? That's what I'm doing. I'm just selling right out of it. So not a hold for me, as you guys know. Pyron Discord knows that quite well. There was a little bit of taff bullshit from this master weirdo over there. If anybody read the Discord, it was pretty entertaining, I guess, while I was laid up in bed. So I had nothing better to do. Why not entertain the clowns? All right, guys, let's get into the news segment of things, because my voice clearly can't handle this anymore. The outlook for Bitcoin and crypto stocks in 2024. Let's see what CNBC television has to say. Again, I missed a whole week of videos, so we're gonna be bouncing in and out of the last couple days. Let's do it.
Welcome back to Overtime. Bitcoin moving lower today. Cathie Wood's ARK Next Generation Internet ETF selling its more than 2 million shares of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, but buying more than 4 million shares of the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF. So here to discuss that move and the outlook for crypto is CNBC.com's Tanea McKeel. Tanea, it's great to have you here on set.
Nice to be here. Thanks, Morgan.
So I guess let's start with the positioning we've seen from Wood and whether we're seeing similar types of positioning or at least anticipation of a spot Bitcoin ETF from investors ahead of what could be, as soon as next month, an approval.
Yeah, it's getting really interesting heading into January 10th, which is the deadline, at least for ARK's application with 21 shares. So the SEC by then needs to either reject or approve it. I spoke with Cathie Wood just a couple days ago for Crypto World about this, because that actually was the remainder of the GBTC shares in that fund, and she has been offloading for several weeks. So she told me, she was pretty plain about this. She said this is plain portfolio management. the price of Bitcoin.
You guys can learn something from Kathy Wood. Even though she's super bullish on Bitcoin and stuff, she's still taking profits, and that's absolutely the smart thing to do.
Has been rising, and we do always take profits. However, as you sort of alluded to, it is interesting, you know, should she get the approval, and it is very likely that if one issuer gets approval, several will also get approval. So that would make GPTC a competitor, and I, you know, would expect that should these issuers get approval, that ARC's Bitcoin ETF would become the main Bitcoin vehicle for her other funds as well.
Okay, so one to watch there. Bitcoin's just had an incredible year, 150% plus gains this year, despite some of the controversies that have happened, some of the company implosions, or at least leadership changes that have happened. There's an expectation that that could continue next year as well. How much of that is tied to ETF approvals? How much of that is other factors that are at play?
You know,
assuming it happens.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is entirely the possibility that there could be an ETF rejection, although it is, you know, I think broad consensus is that is not likely. The Bitcoin ETF is a big thing. Things have really intensified. You said Bitcoin up 150 this year. It's up 57% just over the last 6 months, which is sort of the start when BlackRock came out and said, we want to do this Bitcoin ETF. And things have just been building and building from there, up 11% just for the month. It is it's, you know, the whole second half of the year really has been about the ETF story. It is expected to be the biggest catalyst next year, and that's just the start of it, because just a couple of months later, we're going to have the Bitcoin halving, which historically drives it drives big gains. And then, you know, we're also watching the rate environment, expecting to maybe see some cuts next year. We know that rate hikes they have been hurtful to Bitcoin over the last couple of years. So the setup is really strong. There are some concerns, though. It is feeling a little overheated. CryptoQuant has data out today showing that the market is a little bit overheated. They think it is possible that Bitcoin could correct to about 32,000, which is the short-term holders' realized gain.
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. 32,000. That's really not that bad.
Yeah, the price has just been climbing and climbing. So all of these investors, short-term investors and miners, are sitting on these unrealized profits. And you know, I think though, also, it should be pointed out that even if there is a short-term pullback, most investors agree that does not really take away from the bull case, which is that if there is an ETF next year, it is going to invite in all of these institutional investors that were curious but have been sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, and of course, we've seen the Bitcoin mining stocks. Most of them are very, very small, but they have had huge gains in anticipation of all of this year as well. The whole universe, it would seem like. Yeah,
even the big ones. You know, CleanSpark and Iris Energy up more than 500%, and then we're looking at Riot and Marathon up 416%, 720%, and you know, huge. That's going to be driven by the price a lot.
Okay, Tanea McKeel, thanks.
Shout out to CNBC for that. All right, there's one more right here. He speaks to her as well. Why the highly anticipated Bitcoin ETF approval could be a sell the news event. And that's what I'm kind of worried about. Not going to lie, guys. That like button. Appreciate you all. Let's get into it.
In the meantime, something in early January, maybe, the U.S. could finally have its first spot Bitcoin ETF. That, of course, assuming that it is ever actually approved by the SEC. But even still, Bitcoin has had a very impressive run this year, more than doubling since January. Now, of course, the prevailing wisdom is that a Bitcoin ETF could send prices even more to the moon. But of course, this is Wall Street and investing. After all, weird things tend to happen. So is there a chance that an ETF approval could actually have the opposite effect and trigger a bit of a sell-off in Bitcoin itself? Joining us now for more is CNBC crypto markets and investing reporter Tanea McKeel. Tonight, good to see you. Thanks for staying late, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I mean, this, you know, listen, the conventional wisdom is you get the approval, Bitcoin to the moon, diamond hands. But to my point, it's Wall Street. What are people telling you?
Yeah, and the market does feel a little bit overheated. I mean, the whole second part of this year has been about this Bitcoin ETF. There are some valid concerns that are starting to come up on Wall Street, though. I mean, number one, there is the idea that there just isn't as much interest in a Bitcoin ETF as everyone is saying. There are Bitcoin investment products on the market, like the Bitcoin futures ETFs that you see, as well as Bitcoin equities, which of course were the outperformer to Bitcoin, despite its 150% run.
But those are still a little fringy. Would you say that a Bitcoin futures thing?
Yeah, I mean, the argument is that a spot Bitcoin ETF would just be better. But I think the argument is, you know, a lot of people still aren't interested in investing in Bitcoin. And just because an ETF becomes available doesn't mean that they're going to just because it's available. So what you might see instead is a rotation out of those Bitcoin investment products into what would be the spot Bitcoin ETFs next year.
Yeah, you do wonder if people who, it's kind of like early adopters in any technology, right? The early adopters, they go in, they don't care about the troubles, they buy it, they love it, and they become sort of, you know, proselytizers for that thing. You do wonder if crypto is the same way tonight, where it's like, you know, I want Bitcoin, so I'm going to buy Bitcoin. I don't need an ETF. And people that don't have any interest in crypto or Bitcoin, to your point, just might ignore it, don't care.
I mean, Needham says that they put out this survey that actually showed that there wasn't much interest in a Bitcoin ETF from people who are already buying Bitcoin, that they would just prefer to buy it on something like Coinbase. And so that, you know, would actually, that does not bode very well.
Looking ahead, this is tis the season for wild
wrong.
speculation and predictions. Is a Bitcoin ETF kind of considered the big thing, at least for early 24, or is there something else, some other halving or whatever they call it? What else are we looking for from the crypto world next year?
Yeah, you nailed it. The setup is strong. It seems very idealistic, but let's say we do get a Bitcoin ETF in January. Shortly after, we get a Bitcoin halving, say April or May is when it's expected. And historically...
That's literally going to happen. I just completely made that up.
No, that's literally...
I'm not joking. I just knew it.
You didn't know that was going to happen? He's lying.
It had happened, and I just want to sound smart.
It had happened
So I
4
just
years
made it
ago.
up.
It's due to happen now. And historically, that's seen, let's see, cycle 3, 565% rise in Bitcoin after the last Bitcoin halving. I actually talked to Jurgen Timmer from Fidelity earlier this week, though. He's saying that Bitcoin might be so mature that the days of gains like that after the Bitcoin halving might kind of be a thing of the past.
I just feel so smart now. But let's not forget, Bitcoin was at 60 grand.
It was.
Right? Stock market may be at record highs or close to it.
60.
Over 60.
Yeah.
We got to, I mean, we're not there yet. We've had a great run. But tonight on McKeel, we're going to look forward to you keeping us informed and making me sound smarter. So thank you. All right, appreciate it.
What a clown. Shout out to CNBC for that. All right, let's move on. Actually, you know what? I totally forgot to show you guys this. So this is one of the headlines today that we're going to be talking about or just seeing in one of Mr. Altcoin Daily's videos. Look at this. So BlackRock just dropped its updated S1. This is the form for the their ETF BS, I believe, right? Registration statement. And it does name APs as in Jane Street and JP Morgan, which is kind of ironic. Isn't that weird, right? JP Morgan saying that Bitcoin is for what, criminals and fraudsters and people trying to avoid tax and that we should ban it. Yet they're a authorized participant, an AP. Kind of messed up. Jamie Dimon is a clown, to say the least. All right, let's move on. CNBC's crypto world. We have 2 of these videos I want to watch. Here's what's to be expected in 2024 for U.S. crypto regulation. Guys, the like button. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. And I apologize for my voice. Let's do it.
Crypto regulation in the U.S. is at a critical juncture. It's been a year since the spectacular collapse of FTX, whose disgraced leader, Sam Bankman-Fried, had just become one of the biggest political donors. In the wake of that scandal, hopes were high that the industry would finally get the legal clarity it had been asking for.
You would think that an FTX happens, that's a huge wake-up call for regulators and policymakers, that we need clarity on regulation.
Instead, 2023 is marked by a regulatory crackdown on crypto companies that's been a dark cloud over the industry. A piecemeal collection of individual enforcement actions, civil lawsuits, and criminal cases. Crypto investors and businesses insist that to truly move forward, they need the regulatory clarity from Washington.
Congress has become very busy with a lot that's going on in the geopolitical world. There's a lot going on. You know, we had the debt issues, we had the Speaker of the House issues, and the FTX and Binance probably made some people even more cautious about the crypto markets, and maybe they don't want to give it the legitimacy that it might get because of regulation.
That clarity didn't happen in 2023, but as we enter the new year, and with Bitcoin soaring back above 40K as investors pour into the market again, what does the industry think should be a priority for lawmakers in 2024, especially as regions around the world lay out clear crypto guidelines?
Chairman McHenry in the House Financial Services Committee has legislation that creates a path for crypto market structure and clearly delineates the jurisdiction between the CFTC and the SEC, what constitutes a digital commodity versus a digital security.
Congressman McHenry also put forth stablecoin legislation that has gained traction in the House. 2024 is an especially critical year for these bills. If they don't pass by year-end, they'll have to be reintroduced when Congress opens in 2025.
That sucks.
But McHenry, a powerful ally for crypto, won't be there. He's
retiring. How sad is that?
Retiring at the end of his current term. Now, there's also movement in the Senate.
He's actually like a really good advocate for crypto, so that really does suck. It's going to hurt quite a bit if we don't get someone that's like pro-crypto like he is.
Where Senator Elizabeth Warren is pushing forward with a bill meant to crack down on crypto crime. That bill has gotten pushback from the industry, but is also gaining co-sponsors. The industry does believe that there should be more ways to fend off bad actors, though.
We need clear rules of the road here so that bad actors can't access the space, so that it's easier to prevent some of these things from happening in advance rather than just coming, after the fact to bring in enforcement actions.
And the crypto lobbying machine is still pushing to make the U.S. a crypto hub.
I think we do have some work to do, but I think the good news is we have so many people within the crypto industry that want to constructively engage with government, and they're working together with the Blockchain Association and with other organizations in Washington working on crypto policy. And so I'm really optimistic as we head into 2024 that we're going to have some of the most constructive dialogue we've had with government yet.
What we've been saying for so long now that regulation in the United States is critical to keep companies here. We hear from companies with some regularity that it doesn't make sense for them to serve U.S. customers or to operate here in the United States. Chairman Gensler himself has acknowledged that it's much harder to bring enforcement actions and to have oversight over exchanges and companies that are operating outside of the United States.
In 2023, big brands like Coinbase and Ripple threatened to leave the U.S. if legislators and regulators failed to bring clarity. So far, that hasn't happened, but more companies could shift priorities to expand overseas. There is one area where the U.S. is poised to expand crypto investment with the help of the SEC: spot Bitcoin ETFs.
My sense is that we'll see in the next couple months an approval from the SEC. Let's say, for the sake of argument, they reject the spot ETF application and it goes back to the federal courts and they're struck down again. It's a pretty significant black mark on the agency to lose on kind of the same issue twice. It calls into question the judgment of the agency at that point.
Even if the SEC cedes ground on the ETF fight, the agency seems largely undeterred from other crypto legal battles, even after courts ruled against them in cases involving Grayscale and Ripple. In 2024, the regulator plans to move ahead with enforcement actions against Kraken, Coinbase, and Binance. That last one is, of course, separate from the multi-billion-dollar settlement the world's largest crypto exchange faced in November. Many people view Binance's historic settlement from just a couple weeks ago as an opportunity to finally close a painful chapter of crypto history as it opens a new one. If the SEC approves a Bitcoin ETF, as many expect will happen soon, it'll allow a new wave of institutional money that's been sitting on the sidelines to enter the market, and it'll be imperative to have market structure and investor protections in place. But while lawmakers remain more engaged than ever, clarity around crypto regulation may not come in 2024.
We're going to see a significant amount of litigation where ultimately we're going to continue to have some of the rules of the road being set by federal judges. Unfortunately for the SEC, they have been on the losing side of a number of those decisions recently. I would expect that trend to continue, but if it doesn't, we're going to have substantial uncertainty in what crypto market structure looks like in 2024.
Shout out to CNBC for that. The only thing that really makes me a bit worried about the whole ETF thing. It's going to be huge and bullish for Bitcoin as a whole when it comes to mainstream adoption and people getting into it. The thing is the fees, man. The fees is what's going to kill people like you and me, right? The people that have been holding Bitcoin for a long time. I don't know. The transaction fees have just been complete ass lately. There's been too much stuff on the network that are forcing these transaction fees to go up. And I don't know. It's kind of steering me away from mining Bitcoin at the same time as I want to continue to hold it. I don't know. It's like a double-edged sword. It's so weird for me, but you guys let me know what you think about that. All right, here is Here's how venture capital firms shifted its views on Web3 startups in 2023. Again, CNBC's Crypto World. This was from 2 days ago. Let's get into it, guys. That like button. Appreciate you for hanging out.
Bitcoin's price staged the ultimate comeback in 2023. The crypto industry, though, still has big problems. Valuations have cratered, and so has funding for new projects.
Most venture capital right now is trending back toward the kind of 2018, 2019 numbers. I would add one caveat, though, with Web3 to remember is that when you're looking at numbers that go back to 19 or 20, you're talking about a pretty much a nascent industry. People didn't even know what Web3 was at the time.
Global VC funding is down across the board. In the first 3 quarters of 2023, VC funding has plunged 42% compared to the same time period from 2022. Web3 companies have fared much worse. In the fourth quarter of 2023, Web3 companies raised a paltry $1 billion. That's a far cry from Web3's peak funding rounds in late 2021 and early 2022, when Web3 companies were pulling in just under $11 billion a quarter.
Web3 really started to be affected even kind of maybe in the first half of 2022. And then we really saw we saw a substantial decline.
That doesn't mean Web3 development has totally disappeared. Some, like Ann Steffen of Cubist, even found ways to raise money as funding dried up.
We raised our seed round actually in the summer of 2022 in the midst of the Terra Luna crash. 3 of my founders are computer security professors, and I've got a background as a COO at a fintech company. I think that really helped us come in and secure a good, solid round of seed funding in a difficult environment.
In terms of operating through a crypto winter, I think we are a little bit fortunate in the sense that we get to work with usually folks that have raised capital and have a very long time horizon to execute. And so a lot of our customers are folks building right now and are building things that are going to launch now or 2024.
What's left behind after the cascade of crypto scandals in 2023 are the most dedicated developers working on projects like Layer 2 technologies, which boost the speed of transactions.
I think that if you're an infrastructure player right now in Web3, you know, if you're kind of a Layer 2 platform building off an established blockchain, I think those players, those startups have significant space to grow. I think they'll continue to see investment.
There's been huge developer interest and sustained developer growth in L2s, especially Ethereum L2s.
Electric Capital tracks the pace of open source development through its developer report, and what the data shows is that monthly active developers aren't necessarily beholden to the price of crypto. Development activity rises when the price of, say, Bitcoin goes up, but when prices come down, activity doesn't necessarily fall at the same pace. The pace of development heading into 2024 is still about 75% higher than it was at the start of the last bull cycle. One important point though, this data doesn't track all developers.
Another category that has a lot of growth but doesn't get captured in these numbers would be gaming. A ton of teams are working on games. Games tend to be closed source, and so it's hard to see that reflected in open source numbers.
As institutional interest in Web3 picks up again, developers and VC firms are also gearing up to fund what they deem important, technologies like tokenization.
So you're starting to see a lot of this concept of bringing assets that were historically not as liquid and creating liquidity around them by leveraging crypto as kind of crypto rails.
As of today, cryptocurrencies are by far the largest subset of digital assets asset class, and I would predict that in some period of time it will not be. We will see tokenized everything, tokenized financial securities, tokenized real estate, tokenized other assets.
In 2023,
although Sumitomo for a minute, the voice.
SC Ventures announced a partnership with Deutsche Bank to test a challenger to the traditional banking system, which would allow transactions of stablecoins, CBDCs, and more. In 2024, many expect that institutions like big banks and governments will be a primary focus for crypto developers.
Institutions ultimately serve retail. So when I'm predicting that over time, you and me will get access to digital assets products in a curated way that is compliant with rules around suitability and the rest, it is institutions who are going to do this for retail consumers. Why did we start with institutions as opposed to retail? Well, because the infrastructure wasn't ready for retail. The asset class is here to stay. Therefore, institutional adoption will occur. It is inevitable. But for institutional adoption to happen, we need institutional-grade infrastructure.
Another big focus in the new year will be crypto regulation. Regulatory uncertainty still persists as the SEC sues major players in the crypto space, which may be a factor leading into the decline in Web3 development here.
What is alarming is the clear downward trend in US share of developers. And so that clear 2% loss of developer share every year is something that's unique to the United States, and you don't really see that in other regions of the world. Anecdotally, I've also been speaking to a lot of developers and crypto teams, and I think there is a lot of concern around the lack of regulatory clarity in the US that's driving people to think about moving abroad.
Meanwhile, the UAE has been lauded as a crypto-friendly hub.
The UAE is building a very powerful ecosystem around fintechs and specifically digital assets.
Yeah, that guy really does sound like Sumitomo from Dynex.
What I mean by ecosystem is the combination of the bits and pieces that it takes to create a hub, meaning obviously startups, but also early stage capital, and also growth capital, and also academia, and also the body of professionals around this, from lawyers to accountants to technology that it takes to do this. And yes, there's a regulatory framework.
In 2024, the projects that are likely to get the most attention could be the ones that are most creative and most forward-looking.
We think everything out there turns into a wallet in 5 years. So if you're going to open your phone and you're going to look at all the apps on your phone, they're going to have a wallet component. You might not know about it. It might be in the background.
I'm excited for the market to come back and for new startups to get funded. And I'm also excited to see some of the existing startups take on additional funding as well so that they can start to scale as they see traction.
I think the types of things that will take off will be completely out of the box and things that we haven't seen before or haven't even imagined. And so I would definitely encourage founders to, rather than taking something that, maybe works in Web 2 and applying it to Web 3, really think about what can be uniquely enabled by blockchain and by crypto.
Nice. Shout out to CNBC for that. All right, let's get into some videos. I want to see what Altcoin Daily had to say a couple days ago. So this is 3 days ago. Best crypto news for Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, and Polkadot. ETF approval coming. Well, I guess we'll see about that. But guys, that like button. I know you're all just sitting in your beds, hungover as shit for the new year. So don't give me that. I'm driving to work BS today. All right. Appreciate you all. Let's do it.
Bitcoin this is a super important point. Bitcoin is the only monetary instrument in the history of our species.
Big news for Bitcoin holders. Hong Kong just released crypto ETF requirements.
That's a big deal.
Ahead of a US approval, meaning essentially Hong Kong's financial regulator has published guidelines for the approval of both in-kind and cash creates spot Bitcoin ETFs.
Who saw that coming?
And why this matters. This is arguably more bullish than the US ETFs, as most of the volume in crypto comes from the Asian markets.
And that is such a true statement, not gonna lie.
And secondly, the approval of in-kind refers to the buyers being able to redeem the ETFs for the actual underlying asset of Bitcoin. And it does look like that the USA is only allowing cash creates. If you want to know the difference, I encourage you to check out this video here. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF news just got way worse. I outline what the US is doing, but understanding Hong Kong's move and now seeing the actual data that this will add to the fact that exchange reserves for Bitcoin are already dropping. And then after the halving, we will have much less Bitcoin available per day in the market. In summary, supply will drop drastically and demand will increase.
Someone will put a 201st floor in Miami's tallest building. If silver's going to 1000x, I will walk into my kitchen right now. I will melt all my silverware and I will sell it at market.
I wish I had a stop the cap button because your silverware in your drawer is not really silver.
Gold is going to rally. Elon Musk will find more on Mars. Bitcoin this is a super important point. Bitcoin is the only monetary instrument in the history of our species that is fixed. It does not matter how much more demand comes into the asset class, Kelly, no one will ever be able to make more of it. There are two things I can guarantee you in my life. One, that I'll die, and the other, that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. And those are what's the two things that I can only value as my life and my Bitcoin. So it is the only fixed supply asset, Kelly. It's not that complicated. It's going to go up because everything else can be issued more. Does that make sense?
So even though we're dipping a little today, I understand why Bitcoin's going higher. But what about the rest of the market? XRP, for example, why is it going up?
You'll soon, the community knows about this, but you'll soon be seeing an amendment proposed by the XRP Labs folks.
An amendment is coming to the XRP ecosystem. This explained by their head of engineering, speaking about sidechains, a Uniswap killer AMM, and just expanding their DeFi to compete with the Solanas, to compete with the Ethereums.
And so soon we'll be proposing amendments that the community will vote on around an AMM, which will enhance the liquidity, as a new liquidity venue on the XRP ledger. We're working on sidechain technology and, bridging XRPL sidechains. And also we're working on an EVM sidechain as well that will bring the capabilities of smart contracts for use cases around DeFi to the ecosystem. So RippleX, we've got a lot going on. We're very bullish.
And it is important to note that Ethereum needs sidechains, for example, because they need help scaling. Yet XRP, already pretty scalable. Why do they need sidechains?
People, I think a lot of times they'll be familiar with the Ethereum ecosystem where most of the sidechains, layer 2s, whatever it might be, they're all about helping scale the layer 1, right? Because they have scaling issues. But in the case of XRPL, would it be accurate to say that the side chains are more like maybe stacks on Bitcoin where their goal is to add functionality?
I think so.
If you're interested in making money in cryptocurrency, click subscribe. I will keep you updated. But now, why is Solana still in the green this week? And actually, maybe let's do Polkadot first. We'll get to Solana. But why is Polkadot going up?
I come here. Does anybody hold Polkadot? What the this guy's hair? Is that real? Tell me that's not real. Is that a wig? It has to be a wig. Guys, give me a vote. Give me a vote in the chat. One if it's real, two if it's fake. That can't be that guy's real hair. You can't think it looks good. Really? What the fuck?
Not as CEO of Piracy anymore, but as one of the 3 chief architects of Polkadot.
Founder of Polkadot, Gavin Wood, in a recent, oops, just got to follow, great. Good info. Gavin Wood, who helped found Ethereum, but then also went on to found Polkadot, talks about the goal of Polkadot and where they are now is to help increase its ubiquity or the state or capacity of being everywhere, especially at the same time, an omnipresence. And while something like this may seem boring to you at first, in this 90-second clip, Gavin Wood takes a shot at Ethereum. Is Polkadot better than Ethereum?
So let's look at the ubiquity. One of the ways that Polkadot is really pushing on the ubiquity front is this.
I swear that looks fake. It looks fake as hell. That's right.
Rather amazing piece of software called SmallDot. SmallDot is a piece of software that sits anywhere where WebAssembly can sit. So it can sit on a mobile phone, it can sit in a web browser window, and it connects directly to the Polkadot network. Indeed, it connects directly to any parachain network built with Substrate. It can synchronize in seconds with the network and provide all of the transacting and querying services that you would need in order to build a decentralized, unstoppable application. Here is an example. This is a very simple application by SmallDot. I just reloaded the page there. It's now going to the Polkadot network. It's fetching the headers. There we go. It's done it with Kusama. It's done it with West End. It's now syncing a parachain on West End. It takes a few seconds to sync, and there you go. So this web page contains all of the code needed to actually connect to nodes.
I thought he was holding the microphone. He's holding a beer as he's giving this speech.
On the network. We're not going through an RPC server. So when you use a typical Ethereum application, you will tend to go through the MetaMask thing, which internally will go through an elastically scaled server farm that just runs a lot of Ethereum nodes and serves out requests. This is owned by a single company, has a single controller, and if for some reason the US jurisdiction knocks on the door and says, right, you can't use this, we don't want this DApp to be available anymore, we don't want anyone using this account anymore, whatever else, they will basically have to turn it off or shut down.
Wow. Very interesting to learn technically
Hold on, what's $8.40? Sorry, I gotta check Polkadot real quick. Let's see, what are we looking like? Polkadot, what's the price of Polkadot right now? $8.27 still. I wonder if that's a good buy. I wonder if we're gonna see that pump.
What makes these protocols different?
I mean, it's already at $11 billion market cap, so
Looking at lower cap altcoin news from two that I'm invested in, we're excited to announce a partnership between AIT Protocol and Bonsai 3. Together, we're combining AIT Protocol's cutting-edge Web3 data infrastructure for data labeling and AI training with Bonsai 3's innovative no-code toolset for anything Web3. So AIT is artificial intelligence, data infrastructure, and Bonsai is a no-code toolset. They have just formed a strategic partnership. And as tweeted by AIT Protocol, welcome Bonsai 3, masters of no-code solutions for Web3. Stay tuned for an exclusive initiative using our data annotation platform that benefits both communities. Also, some news for ZK Link, full disclosure, another project I'm invested in, announcing our second partner joining the ZK Link Liquidity Alliance.
Never heard of it.
Flowdesk. Flowdesk provides a wide range of digital asset services such as market making, OTC trading, treasury management, and our collaboration with Flowdesk will unleash institutional-grade liquidity solutions that can match with top-tier crypto exchanges, essentially just putting in place the infrastructure. So if you're bullish on the ZK rollup infrastructure narrative for crypto, ZK Link making moves, and then of course Solana, we're seeing more and more institutional interest because of the interest in Bitcoin. They look for what's next.
To have watched Solana after last year's controversy with FTX being such a big supporter of Solana, and to watch the developers stick with Solana is speaks volumes to us. I always say follow the developers, and they certainly stuck with Solana, and they are also scaling in terms of Ethereum as well. So we think those are two powerful networks in the decentralized finance space, and we also think that this notion of DeFi, decentralized finance, that if people just start looking at it and thinking about it as simply the internet financial system. The internet in the early days was never conceived of as hosting commerce or financial services. And so developers back then didn't build in that capability. All that's happening now with Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana is developers are building in native currencies and much more streamlined, fewer intermediaries, streamlined ways of dealing in the financial system. Much more efficient, much more productive, just like the internet itself.
If I missed...
What do you guys think about Solana? Honestly, I'm looking at Solana and it's like, man, yeah, it sucks we missed it, the first rise way back when, but man, it's only at $105 right now. I don't think, I do think it still has a lot more room to grow. I don't know. It was above BNB last, a couple days ago, right? It flipping Tether. I don't see that being impossible, right? Flipping Ethereum, I'm not sure I feel that's going to happen, but you know what? I definitely do think the market cap of Solana is going to go up quite a bit. It might not be a bad buy, but we might still see it pull back 70, 80 bucks, something like that. But I guess we'll have to see. Anyways, all right, let's move on to another altcoin daily video. Again, this is the bigger video I wanted to watch. BlackRock, Bitcoin ETF days away. Crypto is about to explode. I guess we'll have to see. But this is the where he sheds some light on the shadiness of Mr. Jamie Dimon over at JP Morgan. Let's do it.
Huge news for the BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF. I am flabbergasted that more people aren't talking about this. In the final hours, your biggest enemies reveal themselves. We were right the entire time.
Of course you were.
It is amazing that we have access to this information. The general public has no idea what is about to happen. Not that they couldn't know, they just don't know. They don't know they should be looking. BlackRock and 11 plus others are days away from getting approval from the SEC for their spot Bitcoin ETF. Gary Gensler and the SEC just keep losing.
Taking
You
L's.
know about the SEC's major setback with Binance back in June. You know about the SEC's 2 major losses with Ripple in July and October. You of course know about the SEC's landmark loss against Grayscale, making all of these spot ETFs possible. Well, another major L for Gary Gensler just happened. The SEC deeply regrets their misleading statements and other errors in the crypto case. The crypto company in question, called Digital Licensing Inc., or DebtBox. So what happened? The SEC's attorney apologized to a judge on Thursday for misrepresenting facts used to secure a restraining order and asset freeze against the crypto firm.
That was like, what, 2 weeks ago, I think? Yeah, December 22nd, yep.
The SEC basically lied, made stuff up, carried out actions against this company,
Scumbags.
and the judge basically just made them apologize, and now there'll be repercussions on the SEC. Another L for Gary. Another one. Huge news for the BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF. I am flabbergasted that more people aren't talking about this. BlackRock just dropped its updated S1, and it does name the APs. It does name the authorized participants, Jane Street and JP Morgan. Kind of ironic, kind of iconic. Looks like we have our first horse at the starting gate. In the final hours, your biggest enemies reveal
God, they just look shady as fuck, don't they? They definitely do.
themselves. We were right the entire time.
Do as they do, not as they say, right? This guy sits here and says, don't buy Bitcoin. I'll catch anybody that's buying it in my company and I'll fire you. And he's in the background buying it up. And then just, what, 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, he says Bitcoin's a fraud. It's used for fraudulent activities and tax evasion and all this other shit. And if I was the government, I'd shut it down. And yet he is now labeled in Mr. or BlackRock's just S1 form. Like, this is just as an active participant. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. It really is.
So just to be clear, the AP names were not due in the S1s. So BlackRock adding them in there, bit of a flex.
Mr. Charles Harris, appreciate the $5 super chat.
Keep it real and hodl.
Appreciate the tip or the super chat. I'm not sure how that actually came through in red. I thought I had that off. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
In that regard.
Happy New Year, buddy.
If we see other S1s not naming APs, doesn't mean that they don't have ones lined up. But this does make BlackRock the first horse officially ready. So obviously, it's looking more and more like the 11 plus spot Bitcoin ETFs is a done deal. You'd basically need the highest rungs of the government to step in and stop these things from being approved. So basically, we're talking about Joe Biden or somebody pretty high up there, like Joe.
He's still sleeping. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. Don't be fooled.
Biden. Would Joe Biden stop the ETFs from happening? Does he even know about it? I don't think he would if he knew about it.
You know what I saw? I saw the other day. It was yesterday, actually. I was watching something. I can't remember what it was, but do you guys remember when George Bush was president and he got a shoe thrown at him when he was talking at the podium and he like straight up dodged it twice? Like, guy threw both shoes. I was like, if that was Joe Biden, he would have got biffed right in the head and just died right on scene.
Plus, it's an election year, guys. It's an election year. Keep that in mind. Very positive. Again, I want to point this out to you. This is a classic example of watch what they do, not what they say. It was not but 3 weeks ago that JP Morgan's CEO, Jamie Dimon, made the remarks, if I were the government, I'd shut it down.
You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
Now he wants a piece of it. He wants a piece of that digital gold. So all the biggest players are in now. Again, more evidence. The approval is days away. In the final hours, your biggest enemies reveal themselves. We were right the entire time. And just so you understand JP Morgan's role as APs with BlackRock, this will be their role. APs play a critical role in the functioning of ETFs They are responsible for creating and redeeming ETF shares. They help maintain the liquidity and proper functioning of the ETFs by facilitating the process of creating and redeeming shares in response to demand, especially important for a product like a Bitcoin ETF, where the underlying asset is not a traditional security. APs would likely be responsible for managing the creation and redemption of shares in exchange for cash or Bitcoin, helping to align the ETF's market price with the net asset value of its underlying asset. The deadline for all of these amendments is today. That's why we're seeing all of this happen. We love a good last-minute dash. And we are seeing all of these applications get refiled and updated. Valkyrie just refiled their spot Bitcoin ETF. VanEck just submitted their update for their spot Bitcoin ETF. In addition, they also dropped a new commercial. Honey, the new Bitcoin ETF ad just dropped.
Oh, did you guys see this? This is actually cool as hell.
Tell me what you think.
You know, it's amazing to me the tremendous impact that the home computers have had on everyone. And yet it seems that people I've talked to say that it takes you longer to do something by putting it into a computer and calling it up again than if you just kept simple records yourself in the house.
1995, yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Coinbase just
not as cool as the most interesting man in the world, but close.
Its
second.
head of custody. You recall that Coinbase is doing the Bitcoin custody for BlackRock and over half of the spot ETF applicants. Coinbase replaces its head of custody as the company gears up to provide services for the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Goldman Sachs even changing their tune. Spot Bitcoin ETF approval will bring more institutional investors into crypto, says Goldman Sachs exec. I am hugely bullish on the future of this whole industry, and this cycle specifically, hugely bullish because of the halving, because of BlackRock, because of the ETFs. Understand this, BlackRock is not our savior.
You know what? I entirely agree with him on that. It's you know, it's going to be a good thing again for Bitcoin as a whole, but at the end of the day, it's about control, and that's really what they're going after. They want to control the Bitcoin. That's why they want you to purchase their ETF, because they're going to hold all your Bitcoin and give you, trust me, bro, I got you. You got this many shares.
They will tell you to buy as they click sell, and that's okay. Know the beast, understand the game, keep buying dips, and have a 10-year time horizon. What do you think about this? To me, this means that when Bitcoin's 150K or whatever the number is, BlackRock, that's when they're really going to ramp up, going on TV saying how Bitcoin's going to take the market cap of gold at 500K, and that's when they'll begin selling. Not that I don't think Bitcoin can get to 500K. Talking about just being near the top in general. They're going to...
What are the fees going to look like when it gets up there? That's my biggest concern for us.
...to click sell, and that's okay. Know the beast, understand the game.
Yeah, he's a pirate,
but of course,
exactly.
We have the...
The pirate literally read my mind. Fees will go to the moon, and that's my concern when it comes to having to sell Bitcoin. It's like you're gonna, you know, say you have 50 grand in Bitcoin, and it's gonna cost you like 10 grand in fees to get it out. It's crazy.
Ethereum spot.
I mean, you're better off. So like, if that becomes the case, hopefully there's platforms that allow you to just borrow against your own Bitcoin. That would be nice, right? Or ideal, anyways. That way you wouldn't have to sell any type of Bitcoin. You could borrow right against it, and I don't even know how that would work, to be honest, but it would be pretty awesome.
ETF coming up. This is going to be huge. Purely narratively wise, this cycle, this is going to be a huge narrative for Ethereum. And then when it actually happens, it's going to be huge for Ethereum too. But what happens after Bitcoin? What happens after Ethereum? What happens after the Solana ETF? I think a Solana ETF is coming. At least I think in the next 2 years, we're going to be hearing a lot of people talking about how they think a Solana ETF is coming. And it just might be. I think it's very possible. Then after that, BlackRock Spot Chainlink ETF? Why not? Is there any reason why Chainlink wouldn't be next? So, do you have one Bitcoin? If you have one Bitcoin, you are well ahead of the curve if you see how Bitcoin distribution is. Hell,
that's kind of neat. It's kind of a neat chart, actually. You have 0.01. This is that's really neat, actually.
Even if you just have fractions of a Bitcoin, you're doing very well, way ahead of the curve. And it's really more about timing, right? It's really more about timing. And it is time. 2012, 2016, 2020.
Holy shit, look at that. Look at those charts. That's crazy.
Now? So many of my friends who were waiting for Bitcoin to go lower at 32K are now buying Bitcoin at 43K. Interesting to see human/market psychology play out in real life. Are you seeing this? Do you have any experiences like this? What happens when Bitcoin starts consolidating near all-time highs? What happens when Bitcoin breaks new all-time highs? 2024 is going to be great. Subscribe to the channel, join Altcoin Daily. We put out
shout out to Altcoin Daily for that. All right, let's get into the recap of things. What do you guys think about this entire nonsense? Let me know in the chat. Let's see. That's not how BTC network works. You pay per byte. Interesting, Swamp 7. Yeah, well, I mean, just the end of the day, I mean, I tried to send Bitcoin to a winner 2 weeks ago when I gave away stuff like all week, right before Christmas. It was like 25 bucks in Bitcoin, and it was going to cost me $27 to send that $25 of Bitcoin. So it was like 52 bucks at the end of the day. I'm like, absolutely not. I am not sending Bitcoin with fees that high. That just doesn't make any damn sense. So I voted against it, and I actually ended up sending him Kaspa and ETC, actually, the other guy wanted. So it was just, I don't know. The biggest thing is for me, what are the fees going to look like? But it's a double-edged sword, again, because we're miners, right? So we get paid by fees, or you know, when you're mining Bitcoin, like the fees are going to make the difference here when you're a miner. So it's going to be good and bad, right? I don't know. Anyways, all right, what coins you guys want to look at? Check out some things before we get out of here. Solana's actually been, again, it was on a, oh, it's honestly, it's still on a crazy tear. It's doing so well in the past 30 days anyways. As you can see, it was 60 bucks. It's now 100 and, well, it was up to 120, right? Doubled. Now it's still at 100, floating around 100. I think 100 is pretty good valuation of Solana as of right now. I don't know about you guys. What do you think about that? All right, let's see. What else? Is there any new coins actually that anybody here has been really keeping their eye on? You know what I kind of want to do? Let's see. How do I change the top 100? How do I like change that? Go to, let's see. Actually, you know what? Let's go to Crypto Bubbles. It's easier. Let's go to the top 1,000 and just see what the biggest shitcoin is. Biggest earner right now on the day. We'll go on the week. On the week. What's this? RET. R-E-T. Renewable energy. $7.3 million market cap, rank 963. See, these, like, I hate to say it, but like looking at ish coins, right? This is where you guys are gonna get like big gains on coins, like just random ass coins, low cap coins that you're gonna see pop off, right? This is where you're gonna get money. Grin, geez, 60% up. Interesting. I haven't heard anything about Grin in a long time. They make Grin miners, actually, if you guys didn't know. 5 cents to 7-8 cents now. Interesting. Ranked at 950. Not too bad. Grin is up 60%. Yeah, that's crazy, right? Weird. I haven't heard anything about Grin in a long time. Again, this is top 1,000. Doesn't go any higher than that, but let's see. Shill. Look at this. Shill token. It's kind of a funny name, but it'll probably pump just because a funny name. Oh my god, look at this one. Really? Is that really a coin? What is wrong with people? Coinomi, 41.7%. Again, this is the top 1,000 coins, guys. We have Umbrella Network, 936, 3 cents. We have, let's see, Strips Finance, 963, 17.1% up, $1.77. Interesting. Just want to take a peek, see what we had. What is this? SPX 6900. This, man, there's so many like random ass coins. Portugal National rather, 971, $7.9 million market cap, $2.13. Neat. KMA, Calamari Network, 968 for ranking. We have 21.5% up on the day. Interesting. What's this? APM coin, 906 ranking. We have looks like it's just over half a penny, went up to just under a penny. That's back to about where it was. Not too bad. Interesting though. Umbrella Network and RET look like the two top though. And the top 1,000. Let's go to the top 500. Just see. Oh damn. VLX. What's this? 76.7%. Looks like it's ranked 461 at 2 cents. Neat. Went from a cent to 2, so basically doubled. 2x. Not bad. Let's see. Chump coin. Yeah. No chump coin. Is that a thing? Please tell me it's not a thing. It'd be terrible. GT man. Umbrella is Resident Evil. Yeah, right. Resident Evil is that was a good movie back in the day. Unibot. What is Unibot? 435. I actually like the name of that, Unibot. It's kind of neat. We have it was at 50. 49 bucks. Now it's at 65. Why is that running up? What is this? I'm gonna have to look into this. What is a Unibot? Unibot. I think that's, I don't know. It's got a cool name. People go after names, man. Especially like meme tokens and stuff. I don't know if it's a meme, but this is what it is. What is this? What's happening here? Polygon ecosystem token? What? Top 500? Weird. Very weird. Oh, Dynex is up here. Look at this. Dynex. 458. Actually, you know what? Let's check. Let's see what Dynex is at, actually. Not a bad deal. Let's go over here. I kind of look at that in Flux. I haven't looked at Flux in a while either. 75 cents. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. All right, let's look at Flux real quick. So Flux is at 64 cents. It's up quite a bit from where it was, from where I sold at. I sold at like 40 cents or something. I don't even know. It's crazy. I did it to get my KS zeros, and now they're not doing anything. Like $1 a day. It's crazy. Don't forget Jesus coin, Jesus coin. Look at this. This one's still popping off. Nope. Down 15% after Christmas. It disappeared. Down 15%. Let's see. 30 days. Oh man. Look at this. Man. On his birthday, they just let him go. That's rough. That's real rough. No respect. No respect. That's some BS. Again, ETC POW is taking quite the shit, actually. You know what? Their payouts have been taking forever, too. I've had payouts in for like 2 weeks. I don't even know. 67 cents, though. Down to 67 cents. This project, I really hope this doesn't get friggin' rugged. It'll come back up at Easter. You know what, Crypto KJ? That's a very good point. Jesus coin may pop off again. What happened to that eyeball scanner coin? Oh, you know, World coin. That's a good point. I don't know. I don't know. $3.54. This one kind of disappeared. And I just, oh, what am I doing? What's happening? Wait. Overview. Man, I don't know what I did there. You know, it was at $2.50. I mean, it jumped up a bit. Jumped up a bit. Over $4 anyways. Now it's floating around $3.50. So it's about $1 higher than it was less than 30 days ago. You know, December 16th, it popped off. Neat. Huh. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I really haven't heard much about it, but rank 158 as of right now. This is the Chat GPT World coin BS. I know there was like some stuff with Sam Altman getting out of Chat GPT, or OpenAI rather, over to Microsoft, and then he went back or some shit. I don't know. Let's see. That Carlson is fast to move. I love it, but it is a big poo right now. Soul Miner in Spain, what's up, buddy? He said, I purchased a Tangent the other day using your code. Thanks for the discount, dude. Appreciate you using the code. Thank you so much. You're awesome. And yeah, they actually ship out pretty quick. In the winners, actually, whoever won the Tangems directly from Tangem on my channel 2 weeks ago, you guys will be getting them. I got confirmation email, but I didn't send it to you guys, the tracking. If you guys want it, I can send it to you guys. You should get it within like a week, I'd say. They're pretty quick actually about it. All right, guys, my throat is absolutely killing me, and I apologize for having to cut this a bit short, but I'm just like, I am literally dying. I'm out of water, and yeah, I still have COVID. Unfortunately, I can't taste anything this morning. I can't smell anything either, which is terrible. I guess it could be worse, right? So yeah, that's about it. That's about it. So I couldn't go another week without streaming to you guys. So hopefully you guys have a great new year. I'm gonna try to drop videos if I can. Again, I'm gonna stay active and try to stream all week, unless this thing hits me again for some reason. Then, I don't know, we'll see. But anyways, guys, hopefully you have a great, happy, and safe brand new year, and I will catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna try to stick to 8 a.m. if possible, and I'll catch you guys real soon. Peace out. Have a good day, guys.
This hash rate's going bonkers.